Hi folks, you're with Tacitus Today at your Pushback channel, and thank you for watching. While you're with us, please take a moment to subscribe below. And remember, all our essays are available in printed book format. In this video essay, the subject is, do the Western voting public need to accept that the politicians they pay for and vote into office don't represent them? They just don't represent Western voters anymore. The people that vote for them aren't being represented. Their allegiances are somehow elsewhere. Non-issues or distraction issues like transgender bathrooms get more political and media oxygen than the millions of Western jobs being exported to third world countries. Gender fluid pronoun usage gets far more attention than the mass migration of illiterate, unemployable, incompatible, don't want to assimilate third world peasants into the West. Politicising the education system to tell boys they are rapists, misogynists, Nazis receives almost universal media and political support. On the key issues of our times, the Western voting public is being ignored by all mainstream political parties, as well as the fourth estate media, academia and the commentariat generally. When it comes to the big issues, voters are being purposefully denied a voice. These big issues are the large scale of unwanted third world immigration to the West, illegal immigration, multiculturalism rather than assimilation, export of Western jobs to the third world, and the increase in Western cost of living and falling standards of living in the West. This is all being foisted on a Western public who would never dream of voting for or supporting such policies. It is asserted that all and any problems are not down to policy and ideology shortcomings, but rather these pesky white class middle hetero men. If only they would change, all would be well. This is eerily similar to the Soviet communist claims that anything wrong with communism must be because of sinister counter-revolutionaries, which coincidentally all happen to be middle-class males. So anyway, how did it come to this? Almost as one, and in astonishing lockstep, all the major political parties in the wealthy West, and particularly but not exclusively the English-speaking West, all got up one morning and decided to pursue the same new immigration and gender globalisation policies that were really nowhere on the political landscape beforehand, and they all decided to do this at about the same time. They all decided at the same time to pursue pretty much exactly the same social engineering objectives. Seems a bit strange, doesn't it? Even more remarkable still, at the same time as all the Western politicians are singing syllable for syllable from the same song sheet, the entire mainstream media class across all Western nations not only fully supported these policies, but eagerly denounced and vilified those that are not, all at the same time. Have we ever seen such unanimous support of anything in political history? It's truly unbelievable. But then it gets better. The Western bodies politic, who were obviously aware the public would not take kindly to having these things shoved down their covertly disenfranchised necks, actually made new laws that made it illegal to disagree with these unwanted policies. Holy crap! It is interesting to look back and see how little real debate the passing into law of such Orwellian, if not Soviet-type measures attracted, whether in Parliament or in the media. All the politicians were oddly in complete agreement, and most of these new laws, stamping out disagreement, and in a democracy no less, went through on just a nod, while debate on non-issues such as whether or not to extend a national park by a few miles or gender fluid pronouns attracts intense political debate along with wide and varied media coverage. A schoolgirl falsely alleging some invented evil white guy took a headscarf gets viral international screaming headlines. Meanwhile, a new government law saying anyone who disagrees with an ideologically broken immigration policy can be arrested for the deliciously Orwellian offence of a hate crime, and they can go to prison, and that attracts barely a murmur. It's like all, and I mean all, the Western elected representatives are being told what they can and can't talk about, can or can't do in the public arena. These are laws Western parliaments are passing and in effect make it illegal to disagree with, say, gender policy, with incredibly penalties of fines and imprisonment. The underwriting legal prestidigitation is grandfathered in by the conflation method. If you are against mass-scale immigration from a third world country, it means you must hate brown people. So conflate up one level, so therefore you are a racist. Conflate one more, therefore you are a bigot. If you are a racist bigot, conflate one more time, you must be spreading hate, which is of course a crime. And this allows the state to punish you. This shows how acutely aware the politicians are that these policies are widely disliked, and also how unjustifiable or unsaleable these policies are to the public. So making disagreement illegal is the only recourse. Yet this clearly shows the bankruptcy of the policies. If these policies are so good, how come you can't sell it to your own public, for goodness sake? If it's a bad policy, then why are the Western politicians pursuing it with such grim determination? And if they are not representing the people who vote for them and who taxes pay for them, who are they representing? Increasingly, this form of modern-day conflation jurisprudence, where innocuous Act A leads and auto-escalates directly through B and C to asserted guilt D, is dominating the public and legal discourse. The legality is very Soviet in construct and appears to have the same purpose of intimidating and silencing any dissent or alternative views. Why are such oppressive measures needed if the policy is good for the majority of the Western citizenry? And why aren't politicians trying to successfully sell it rather than trying to lock people up? Just observe how seemingly powerless and impotent Western governments are when demonstrators walk around with signs saying all white men must die, but quickly arrest anyone holding a sign saying immigrants unwelcome. A man handing out leaflets querying why women gain child custody so often in divorce courts is arrested within an hour of appearing, whereas a woman promoting the false rape culture moral panic is unmolested by authorities. A non-mainstream media news crew is assaulted by a leftist group of militant hooded demonstrators advocating the death of an elected president, and police accuse the news crew of being provocative and move them on. Meanwhile, other mainstream news crews inflaming and encouraging those advocating the death of an elected president are not bothered by the police. A speaker on a college campus is jostled and threatened on stage and his speech disrupted by leftist demonstrators. College police and authorities stand by and watch, seemingly powerless to prevent it. Later, a group of other minded students attempt to verbally disrupt a pro-communist speaker and is immediately treated by the authorities as intolerable, and those demonstrators or protesters are dragged out and moved on by police and other leftist vigilantes. Internet sites promoting fanatical hatred of and spreading outrageous falsehoods about white straight males are still in business, while those websites or posters exposing such lies and hypocrisy are quickly shut down, demonetised or shadow banned. Kill all white men posts are rarely shut down. I love Trump posts can be closed within moments. As an example test, we placed two posts on a social media platform. One asserted women are awarded non-meritorious university degrees, and then another asserting men are awarded non-meritorious university degrees. The post that was negative towards women was removed that same morning, whereas the post negative to men stayed in place for weeks until we decided to take it down. Interestingly, this was a site that purports to have a 90% plus male patronage. Allegedly impartial mainstream media websites swiftly and viciously delete any posts that disagree with the pro-feminist, pro-immigration, pro-globalisation narrative, while allowing any and all forms of men-hating propaganda or denouncing disagreeers as Nazis to roam unchecked. Taxpayer subsidising the gender studies scientific justifying the white male hate propaganda production industry is fully funded by your taxes. No taxes, however, are available to provide the debunking narrative. Mainstream media routinely refuse to run stories that show feminism, immigration and globalisation in an unfavourable light, yet fall over themselves to push blatant propaganda that portrays it as benign. As another example, we published 11 articles negative to globalisation and one somewhat in favour of specific aspects of globalisation. The international Newswire search and evaluate algorithms only pick up the pro-globalisation piece and ignore all the others. Disagreement with the imposed narrative is now classified as criminality, and your elected representatives have made it so without your consent. Ask them why. If not you, the people, who will ask the questions? This is Tacitus Today at your Pushback channel, and thank you for listening.